All right, welcome. It is your favorite two girls, your
Blaxican?
Blaxican.
Or Mr. Black?
Mr. Black.
Mr. Black.
Blaxican. Your favorite duo on your new fucking favorite podcast, Our Naked Truth. It's your girl Nicoya, aka Naomi.
I'm Rebecca, aka Lola. I'm gonna do that.
You see how
I'm gonna do that.
I'm
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
So welcome back. We have both of us just saying what's on our mind, not caring what people have to say, to think, because we just have so much on our
But we
mind.
do care about your feedback
We
and
do
your
care about your
advice and anything that you want to talk about or any questions that you may have about previous episodes. Comment. When you comment, you'll see us more. They help us be able to create more content for you guys. If you enjoying us, interact with us so that you can see us more.
And share us, talk to people about us.
It's a team effort, booze. It's a team effort.
Yeah, we want to do so much with this podcast, but we need your help.
We need your help big time. We do. We have great things in store for y'all. So many great ideas, but it takes teamwork. So y'all really don't have a clue how big of a role y'all play in our growth and how much we able to do for you guys. So comment, like, share, interact with us. It's a family affair. Not really, because we begin a little raunchy, you know.
But that's the beauty of this podcast. It's whenever you want to get freaky, but you don't want to know people know you get freaky, come join us. We'll be freaky with you. That's just like how it is. We're very open. That's why we get along. We are very open.
Very open. And this time we will be putting our email in the description box for our YouTube viewers. You can hit the description box and see our email. If you want to remain anonymous with some of your questions and don't want to put it on a public platform, you can message us there. Or if you have a response or a story that you want to share that you can relate to on our topics, you will now be able to reach us through our email. So they can keep you anonymous and private. We need you guys. We need to hear something. So how was your Thanksgiving, boo? It just ended. We're going into another holiday already.
It was nice. I had my parents here in town. I did the cooking. Loved everything about it. Still have some. Need to get rid of it. So how was yours? I'm excited for yours.
It was way better than I could ever imagine. Like all the way down to prepping. Like I was not stressed. I did not feel rushed. I felt relaxed. I didn't even smoke no weed or nothing. It was just like relaxed and just good. Everything was just smooth sailing. My family, we did like everybody brought an item. I cooked the majority of the stuff, the ham, the greens, the macaroni and cheese. I cook what everybody always want me to make every year, which is the ham, macaroni and cheese, candied yams. Those are the top three that I get requests for every year for whatever holiday they like, my mac and cheese and yams. And greens, and I made a fruit salad. But it had like good fruits in it, the pomegranates. It was not your typical fruit salad. It was a good one.
A little bougie.
A little bougie. It was the taste of Nicoya with that one. And my sister did the dressing. My brother and his wife brought the smoked turkey. So like everybody brought something. And
it was a family affair.
It was a family affair. All of my siblings came. None of my siblings live here. So everyone traveled here. My sister got here a day early. A day early. And so me and her got to prep a little bit the night before. I really didn't have much to do because all of my stuff is easy. I woke up the next morning at 7 a.m., revived, refreshed, ironically, and prepped. And then we were actually done. All of our food was ready like at 12. Because we had to go to my grandmother's. And so she also wanted to cook for the family. But we were all scheduled different times to be there because we're such a big family. She doesn't have a real big space. And we were the first family that had to be there.
Which was perfect since you have it.
Was perfect here. Yeah, we had our own plans. So we was the first family. But my grandma don't play no games, honey. Like if you we had to be there on time. So we was there on time so we wouldn't mess up her whole entire day and have her grouchy with everybody else. We sat there like we was there till 3 right before the Cowboys game came on, and then we got here in time to watch the game. And by the time halftime, people was hungry again, and our food was ready, so it was perfect. Well, our food was ready before we left, so we just left everything kind of on low and warming up while we was here. And it was the best. We danced, we partied. It was so full in my place. place. It was good energy, and I saw people that I did not think was gonna be here. Both of my parents is here, my dad's wife, my little brother. I have not shared with y'all. Yes.
Oh, wow.
My dad and Christy and I have a baby brother, y'all. The
Yeah,
shit is so funny. I have not even talked about this.
I think it's so funny when your girls say, "Yeah, my little uncle."
My daughter called me like my uncle. Like
My
she said,
uncle,
like
yeah.
it's so funny because I think and I was gonna say my nephew, my brother, he'll be 1 in February. So I know that's a whole other podcast.
Oh my gosh, already?
He'll be 1 in February.
Oh, I saw him when he was just like maybe a couple of weeks old.
Yeah, yes, he'd be so G'd up. He had his little chain and everything. He is so freaking cute. So it was the best time, and then it was my sister's fiance birthday. So I had a very eventful.
Busy.
It
too.
wasn't just on Thanksgiving because his birthday was the following day.
Yeah.
So it was like we had a full weekend from birthday dinner to party to concert. I was going nonstop, but it felt so good. It was the best Thanksgiving I think I ever had. And I don't.
So that was one of the big topics that I had with my mom and my dad why they were here in Thanksgiving. So that's why I was thankful that they were here, because they got to learn a little bit about me, how I'm doing better, and because they see it, they're like,
They see it, so they're intrigued.
Yeah.
They're wondering, how are you?
How are
like,
you
what
really
are you doing
doing
that's different?
because my mom's asked, like, how do I not care? How do I stop caring? And that right there, she's like, I noticed that you stop caring what people say and what people do and their comments. She goes, how did you get to that point? She goes, because I don't know how to stop. So that's when we started talking
That's a
about.
really good question.
Yeah. And then she asked me, why did you go to therapy? And I told her, it's like, all honesty, because I was ready to leave my marriage.
Yeah.
And she's like, are you serious? And being in the Hispanic
A lot of people
family,
think you went there because you wanted to make your marriage work.
Yeah,
but you
it
actually
wasn't.
went there because you're like, to the little motherfucker, I'm done.
I was ready. I went to therapy to get ready to be better
On your
after
own.
leaving a
Yeah.
divorce. And turned out that, she's like, we're not working on your marriage, we're working on you. But even when I was working on myself, that made my husband see different things. And boundaries was the biggest thing that she used in our therapy, though. Like, do you know what boundaries is? Do you know what boundaries mean? When she asked me that, I'm like, I do, but I don't think it's the right answer.
Right.
Because being married for so long, I thought boundaries meant between both of us. I forgot as an
not you
individual.
having your own. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, even though y'all are a unit, you're still individual units that are supposed to support and balance each other, not be the same.
Yeah, and obviously it didn't work because I was ready to leave.
Yeah.
It was too much control. There was not even control of like where it was abusive control. It was a control as of making you feel bad for having your own thoughts, having your own wanting to do things. And I was never
or even
like
your
that.
own feelings.
Yes, true. And so that was hard to go through on facing it, on even my faults, because I will fess up to my faults. If I know what I did wrong, I will apologize and on it. But I no longer apologize if you get mad or if you're feeling or hurt because I didn't do anything about it. I no longer apologize about it, and that's one thing I had to learn. And then I was also taught that even if it comes with boundaries is being a yes person. When she told me you're not healed from something that happened to you when you're a child, I can tell you why you're not healed. I'm like, no, I am healed. She's like, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I am. She's like, no, you're a yes person. She's like, you're always saying you're trying to please people. And I'm like, fuck. I was like, I thought I was doing that because I didn't want to be a bad person. She goes, there goes to the trauma and the yesing. She's like, you need to set boundaries. And when I finally set boundaries with my husband, it was hard for him to accept. But the way he accepts it now is a whole different view. Now it's like he respects my time. And I'm not a bad, and that sounds like I am not a bad wife if I have girls' night. I am not a bad mom if I do not have phone calls with my son every single day. I am not a bad daughter-in-law if I don't check up on your mother every single day.
Right.
So I had like, this is where it's gonna stop.
Yeah.
You know? So we had those talks around it. And my dad was also intrigued in it. He's like, so that explains the way how you are doing better now. So we talked about boundaries.
Yeah.
boundaries.
That is one thing that I've been stressing a lot here lately for a while since my growth, is creating healthy boundaries. Like, it is okay. And I feel like that's a conversation that comes up often within our circle of friends and within my family. It's like, I literally just had this conversation with my cousin the other night when I ran into him, like, because it was kind of like what you're saying yes to everything, even though it's something you don't want to do, and then after you do it in the hopes that you'll receive the love that you desire, but it's never reciprocated. And so then you beat yourself up even more so. And it's just getting to a point to where it's okay to create healthy boundaries. I've always been a person that created boundaries in my life. I didn't have a problem with that, but I wasn't doing it in a healthy way. And so that's another thing too. Like, you can create boundaries. It goes back to the saying that is so well known. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. So I don't think I struggled with creating boundaries. It was the way that I would do it. You have mentioned different boundaries, like rigid. I was that rigid person. I'm like gonna cut you off. I'm not gonna communicate. It was just in a kind of a toxic and hurtful way how I would create the boundaries. And now I am more open to still stay firm in what I feel, but I'm gonna also educate people on why I'm doing. I notice, like, a lot of times, like, I don't have to explain myself. I don't have to let nobody know why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's just I said no, or I don't want to do this. But if it's your loved ones, to me, creating healthy boundaries comes with understanding. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to make you feel like I don't care, neglected, or abandoned. I'm trying to make you understand why I'm moving the way I am. And maybe it will rub off and it'll be a domino effect, but just for me to just move and not give an explanation can be hurtful and make people misperceive things, make their own conception of what they want of life, and it can just make things toxic. So what I have learned is how to create healthy boundaries, being patient enough to explain why. And I still have I don't care attitude. Me explaining to you is not looking for acceptance of my boundary, not looking for you to give me permission or to say that it's okay. I'm literally just having this conversation with you out of love and respect and understanding so that you can respect my boundaries more so. So I think, like, communication and understanding with your boundaries and how you do it, you can't just act on it. You have to communicate as well. That's what I have learned personally in my growth with doing boundaries. I think now is more embraced, and I see my family getting better because now I'm not just cutting people off. I'm explaining to people, well, I love you, but I can't be involved in this because I'm growing from this. I used to struggle from this, and I don't mind taking the time. I don't have to go into detail, but I used to struggle with this. I've worked too hard to go back to this. I love you. If this is where you want to be, that's fine, but I can't be there with you. It's just like just being honest, just having that 5-minute conversation saves me months and weeks of pain and mess from people, because people are not able to create also not able to create a narrative for me because I done told you what it is. You can't make your own assumptions. You can't say I'm acting this way because I think I'm better or anything. I'm telling you, and I can think I'm better because I am supposed to.
Yeah, nothing's wrong with that.
Yes, and that's another thing, like, oh, I'm better. I am better. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not saying that someone is beneath me, but I just have evolved to another level that makes me better. I've mastered something that you're not mastering yet. So that makes me better. I don't have to be humble by kicking myself down and not acknowledging that we're no longer on the same level. And so it is so, to me, I was sitting here thinking about what you're saying, like, they was like, how did you get to where you don't care? I was sitting here asking myself that I don't even know how I really got to this point, honestly, to where I don't care. I don't know if it started when I made the decision to not get angry anymore. Remember that thing I came across? It was so simple. What is anger? This guy asks a high priest, what is anger? Anger is self-punishment for someone else's mistake.
You let them take that part away from you.
It was so simple, but with me being so power-driven and like to be in control, that's resonated with me so much. And after having conversations with my kids, I'm like, okay, I don't want to get angry anymore. So when I wasn't getting angry anymore, it made me sit back and look at life different and respond to life different and know that it's okay to create boundaries and get to a space to where I didn't care, because a lot of times anger is with you caring too much and acting out emotionally and not looking at things from a logical standpoint. You take things personal. And so I guess that's how I get to where I don't care, because I stopped being angry and lashing out and trying to prove myself.
Yeah.
So I was able to like pause and be like, oh, you're like this because of you. It has nothing to do with you. Yeah. And so that made me not fucking care, because bitch, this is you and this is me. I'm just the person in front of you that you're throwing the punches at right now. So I was just sitting here thinking about like, damn, how did I get to a point to where I didn't care anymore?
It's a good feeling not to care anymore. And like they say, whenever you're growing, you're going to lose people because they're not going to be able to accept you. It's going to be hard for them to accept the new person. And I'm like, I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. Now, I will admit, I know now that my relationship with my husband is healthy.
Yeah.
Not 100%, but it's so much better before.
It's better instead of worse.
Yeah, and then I'm not going to lie, I would say I have rigid boundaries with my best friend right here.
Okay, so...
And it's not even a bad thing, it's me working through it, because...
So before you keep going, how about we explain the different boundaries? Okay. So they'll know what you mean when you say rigid. Okay,
so there's 3 types of boundaries. I gotta write down, people, because...
Y'all know Rebecca.
I gotta write down. Okay, so there's 3 types of boundaries. Rigid boundaries, which is avoids intimacy and close relationships. Unlikely to ask for help, has few close friends, very protective of personal information, may see detached even with romantic partners, keep others at a distance to avoid the partnership of rejection. Okay. Porous boundaries, overshares personal information, difficulty saying no to the request of others, over involved with others' problems, dependent on the opinions of others, accepting of abuse or disrespect, fears rejection if they do not comply with others. I know for sure I'm not that one. Healthy boundaries. Values own opinions, doesn't compromise values for others, shares personal information in an appropriate way, does not over or undershare, know personal wants and needs and can communicate them, accepting with others when they say no. So I know I'm at that point with my husband. I can see a little bit when I'm with you, but it's a process for me. I know just by reading this and finding out, I'm like, oh shit, I'm rigid. And I don't want to be rigid. I'm not going to cry. You're not making me cry, okay? Because this is the thing. We've been friends for a while.
Yeah.
And whenever we're by ourselves, we open up a lot more than anything here. And she's very, 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 very honest with me, and like, this is the way she tells me how she feels. I'm not. I don't share. I think a lot of it comes from fear of losing someone if I'm too open, because it's happened before. And stuff that I went through trauma as a child, that's where when the therapist said, you're not completely healed. And with things between you and I, that made sense to me. Because it's like, if I'm open with you, you're going to run. Because you're not going to that's what I say. I don't know for sure because I don't share.
It just was conjuring up in your own head, your own thought process.
Yeah. So with my best friend, I think I am rigid, but I also think there's some healthiness into it, because I do say what I have to say, but then a lot of stuff I don't say what I have to say until we have a girls' night. And I'm like, okay, this is the way I feel. Like, I don't want to wait till we have girls' night to explain or to share what I feel. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Because I feel like I don't want anything to be like misunderstood of like, why are you keeping quiet? In my head, if I keep away, it's because I'm avoiding conflict. I'm avoiding to explain something. Like, you don't need to know this kind of stuff. You don't need to know that. Why do you need to know? In my mind, it makes sense. I'm like, why do you want to know that about me though? Why do you care about if I'm going through that? I don't understand why someone would care about what I'm going through something. Like, why, Yeah. But whenever you're like, I'm your best friend, why don't you say shit to me? I'm like, but why do you care? And it's not even towards you. It's me in my mind saying like, but why do you care?
Yeah. I don't know if you remember though. I was the same way with you in the beginning. I was
You were,
rigid.
and I told
and
you
I
this
think
in-
I've gotten better.
You have gotten better.
Because I don't even, I can't even just say in the beginning, like for our whole friendship, I think it was during the pandemic when we had a conversation. You called me out on it, the time when you did speak up.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, okay, I did not realize I didn't do that. I didn't talk to you because I'm used to being that way with everybody else.
Yeah, and now I'm reacting that way. So I do need to get better, and it's not something that I forget. It's something that's constantly on my mind on how I can be better, because that's what I've asked people. What does a friendship mean? Because it made me question what a friendship meant. It made me question: am I really a friend? Because I've never been asked for that much from a friend before. Am I a friend if I don't share? Am I a friend if I don't give you that information? Am I real? And so it pushed me back from questioning myself. Like my husband don't push me. It's almost like if my husband pushed me back to think if the marriage was going to work, is this really worth it? And my friendship with you, it pushed me back. Like, am I really a friend? Should I step away from you because I don't think I'm a friend?
Right.
So it was nothing to do with the way you approach things. It was me being able to accept. I don't know those boundaries.
Yeah.
That's my boundaries for that. It explains rigid boundaries.
Yeah.
I kept things personal because I feel like you don't need to know everything.
And you was like, why would you want to know?
Yeah.
And the thing is, if I'm your friend, I need to know so I can understand you, so I can know how to be a better friend.
Yeah, you're right.
How can I call myself your friend and say I care about you because energies don't lie? I can feel something on you, and because life is happening to me too, and then I'm fighting my own trauma, and I'm trying not to fester up any negative thoughts and come up with something that can cause a wedge between us. It's like, okay, let me have this conversation. What the fuck is going on? Like, what? And then there's nothing. Then you leaving an opportunity for me to just think what I want instead of telling me what it is so I can show up. I ask because I need to know, because I can feel something is off, because the connection is real, so I can feel the energy, and it's like I need to know for understanding so I can be there for you as a friend and not taking personal. So that goes back to where I was like creating healthy boundaries. Like you need to have the conversation because that helps people know how to be present in your life. Whatever position or whatever role that they play. But you can't expect for someone to assume and know just by how y'all are connected because I still don't know the depthness of you. I know what you show me. That goes from family, friends, career, work, any type of relationship. And that's why I was like, you have to have the conversation. Even if it's a quick 2-minute sentence. This is what's going on. Just so people can have an understanding of if this is for me or how I can make the approach. You know, it's like it is needed. Understanding. Communication is not the key to life. Understanding is the key to life. And you cannot assume someone to think and know what's going on in your head just because they're around you and they love you.
You're right. And that's something I need to work on. Not even I'm working on. I need to work on, because before I was talking to you about boundaries, I'm like, fuck, have I been really working on it? I felt like if I'm working on it is by just avoiding it. And I tell everybody, when you avoid situations, you're not fixing anything, you're running away from it.
But it's hard to practice what you preach sometimes.
It is sometimes. Yeah, it is. My stuff to be used towards me. Like if I open up with you, because this has happened before. If I open up
between me and you,
not between you and I, between me and friends.
Like,
you're like, let me stop you right there and get right there.
No, I was like, let me listen, child.
No.
A bitch don't be remembering. So
like things can be, if I'm open and I say something, I don't need it to be used against me. If I'm telling you something, I'm telling you in confidence. So I keep back because I don't want stuff to be used against me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like I don't want it to be like, oh well, you cried about that.
Like that.
Yeah, you know, don't throw it at me. I have faults. I'm not perfect. So that's why, and I want to do better. I want to do better.
You're going to do better. It's not a want. You're going to do better. You're doing better. You don't see the progress that you made, but I do. To me, it does not matter what setting. Setting doesn't matter. It's just, what matters to me is that you deliver. It's not I don't care if it's on girls' night. I don't care when, what time. And as long as you deliver and express it on your terms and your time, you've made progress. You didn't keep it bottled up. You did talk to me. I'm not going to force the situation. So acknowledge your growth, acknowledge your change, and I hope that everybody realize that boundaries is way more deeper than what you thought.
It
like
is,
a lot of people hear boundaries and they think it's just like
a line.
Yeah, it's just like this line that you're not
like
going to
you
cross.
can't cross this line. I'm not going to talk to you about that.
Yeah, but it's way deeper than that. And so I do want to acknowledge, girl, yeah, you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Don't be fixated on when it happens. Just accept the fact that it happens and acknowledge that and celebrate that. Give yourself kudos to that, because if you acknowledge that, then you'll keep progressing. But if you keep being fixated on when it's taking place instead of looking at the fact that it's taking place at all, you're going to digress instead of progress. And we don't want that, honey.
No, we don't want that.
We are elevating. You know what I'm saying? We are elevating in life.
Yeah. Just one thing I do want, I'm going to work on.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on for the sake of just me, for a clear mind, but for the person who's actually caring, which is you. Because you've told me many times, like, you don't tell me anything. I'm your best friend. Why don't you say shit to me? And I'm like, why do you have to know what I'm going through? Like, what are you going to do with the information when I'm going through? I didn't understand that. So
and I may not do anything, but I know how to be present.
Yeah, and I don't never want my friend being a friend as a job. Just be my friend. You know what I mean?
But it starts feeling more like a job when I can feel your energy
and trying to figure it out.
And I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and I may take it personal that it's something with me. So now I'm finna overcompensate. Because I'm thinking there's something wrong with me. So now you actually just made my job harder as your friend because you're holding back and you're leaving the door open for me to think whatever the fuck I want to think.
Yeah.
And that's just like in a relationship, in a marriage. You don't want to make somebody feel like they're working, but you just actually put an extra load on me. And the same in relationship. That's why communication is so important, because we're going to have our thoughts. And even if you're not deeply a rooted person like how we are in the line and all that spiritual shit, you still feel energy. When you step in the room, you can feel when somebody's sad, you can feel when they're mad, you can feel when somebody's depressed. You're going to fucking feel it. You can feel it when it's anxiety and something is on their mind. So when I feel it, like, we could be texting, and even when I know you can tell the difference in how I'm feeling before you even see me, just how the flow of the conversation goes. So now I am working extra harder now, because I want to make sure I'm not stepping on your toes. I want to make sure I'm not annoying you more, because I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. I can tell you on pins and needles, and not like, I'm just saying as an example, or you're sad, but I don't know for sure if you're sad. I don't know, can I comfort you? I'm overthinking in my head, do I need to make this, like, how can I approach? Can I not laugh too much? I'm overworking because you're not talking to me. So actually you make my job easier again as your friend by having the conversation. And so it's like, also it's like the I don't care part. You to a certain degree, you do still care, because I do care, but I have gotten to I feel like I used to have rigid boundaries. And that's when you had the conversation with me. I felt like the last tie was with you, that I really need to break that. With you, because all of my other friends had kind of like wilted away. But with you, and even like in my personal life, me and my guy friend, we've been bonding more because I'm getting rid of that rigid, because I had that in a romantic and friendship. I did not struggle with that with family, honey. I always had healthy boundaries with my family before I even knew the difference. It was just, for some reason, I could create the healthy boundaries within my family. But when it came to my friendship and especially love is where I'm still struggling at. We are opposite. Love, like romantically, I still struggle with the healthy, but I have progress and I'm working on that so much more. But I was talking so much, and I don't know if it's the fucking soju. Y'all know I forget what I'm finna say.
You're talking about that you were able to keep it with the family, but with romantic and friends, it was harder.
Yes, I do remember that.
But you know what? That makes sense. Like, do we feel that with family? Because we know family's always going to be there. And we're afraid of losing our friendship and losing the guy that we're trying to figure out if it's going to be something.
Definitely with losing the guy, and especially with me losing so many friends. And that's why I was like that with you. And I always feel like, and when life is hard, you just feel like you always the party pooper. Like, it's always something negative. So I want, and people see me as a strong person. So I always feel like I had to put on that persona to be strong all the time and not let people see what was going on. But you called me out on it, and I was fucking astonished. I like when you told me that. Like I don't even know if you knew how blown away I was, because I, in my head, thought that I had been very open, had diarrhea by the mouth about my emotions. I thought I had showed you everything, and then when you called me out on it, I don't even think I said much, because that's how fucking shocked I was. I remember like it just happened in the backyard, outside. You had one of your cousins with you, and I was just like, I don't even think I could respond other than I thought I did that. And you was like, no. And when you shut me down on that, I couldn't even say shit. But like, okay, did not know that.
Yeah. I think we both stop each other in each other's tracks to make us think. Because the last conversation, the real conversation we had, is the one that kept me in my tracks. The very last conversation, because I keep on going over and over and over, and I'm like, why? Like, I don't understand why you want to know so much about me. Like, why can't you just take me as your friend right now? But I understand why. Like I said, I have friends that are still in my life, but not a friend who really just, like, who has really, like, no, I'm here. Like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
So it's an eye-opening, and it's still an eye-opening, because I still go through it. I think about it every single day. When I say every single day, I'm not even being exaggerated. I think about our conversation, that last conversation, our real true conversation, every single day, and it makes me question myself. Now, I'm not a bad person. I know I'm not a bad friend, but it made me question. And sometimes it's toxic for me to question myself.
Yeah, but when we question ourselves, we're only thinking of the negative.
Yeah. But I want to do better.
No, you're going to do better.
I'm going to do better. I want to work on it. So this right here, this topic really opened. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I've been like this with my friend. Like, not one friend of mine knows me 100%. Not one friend.
Yeah, and I think I could say that. Well, I think now you know me 100%.
Yeah, and then you know more stuff about me than some people do.
Yeah.
So you do know more stuff about me than some people do. And so I think that is my boundaries on that part, but I want to be in healthy boundaries. I think you can use that rigid boundaries on certain people. Because, certain people that call your friends, like our last episode, fake friends, they can use it against you and be like, oh, well, this happened, she said this. You're like, fuck. And I think that's what my thing is. Yeah. Like, I don't need to be thrown at me.
I already know who those people are.
Yeah. And since I know those people, it's like, are you going to hurt me? Even though I know you won't hurt me, but it's like, are you going to hurt me like they did?
And see, that's why I'm rigid when it comes to the romantic part. And that's what I think people think about when they hear boundaries. It's romantically, like boundaries and not letting a man or a woman get over on you. Boundaries and not being taken advantage of. And so with me dating, and it's just like, oh, I got to create these boundaries, especially because I've been hurt. And it's like, okay, I can't let you play me. And I still overthink still today. Like everything can be going smooth and good. And I'll start reverting back to my old ways, to go back to the rigid, to where I just want to cut you off and run. Because something just don't feel right with me. Because you notice what I usually do. But now it's like, okay, instead, when I feel off with the guy that I'm seeing, I'm like, okay, let me just have the conversation, but don't come in a combative way. Just have the conversation. And even if it's been times when I do that and he comes at me kind of like, what, huh? And I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. I just want to make sure I want to give you the opportunity. I'm calm. It's like a completely different, and he be calm in return. Like, okay, I see what you're doing. Like, I'm just trying to understand, so I want to make my own assessment in this situation. I don't want to do like I usually do.
Yeah.
And so I just really, my main message is, whether it's romantically, family, or friendship, it is very important to have boundaries. But like I had said earlier, I think the rigid boundaries are toxic. Even if you do know people that don't care about you, I still do healthy boundaries. And that's why I think my life is so peaceful. because it's like I don't mind explaining
Yeah.
because I feel like if I explain, you're either gonna disperse or you're gonna reimburse what I'm giving you. Disperse or reimburse. I can handle either one.
Yeah.
If you go away, I'm so used to being alone that I'm willing to be honest and tell you, hey, this is what it is. This is why I love you. I wish you well. I don't, and anybody can say that. You wouldn't even know who I fell out with because I won't put that. I don't bad talk. I don't do any of that.
Yeah.
And it's just like boundaries have gave me a peace in life. Boundaries have given me the life I always desired.
Yes.
Boundaries have created me such a safe haven and a place, and it's all because I communicated.
Yeah.
It wasn't because I just cut people off. You can't just cut people off because there's torment. There's torment to you and there's torment to them. And so you're gonna get some negative in return. But if you create boundaries in a healthy way that's loving and nurturing, you're gonna get back what you are supposed to. Whether it means them going their separate ways or y'all staying together, because even when they go their way, it won't be toxic. It'll still be loving because again, people have a season in your life, and I'm very strong in believing that too. And that can be hurtful. And I know I've said that to my circle of friends. Like we're gonna have girls' night, but every single one of my girls know I have told them.
She's for a reason.
I have no. If I love y'all, I value our relationship so much right now. But if something take place to where it says the relationship is over, it is over. And that's one thing everybody knows about Nicoya.
Yeah.
When Nicoya is done,
you're done.
I am done. And if we get back in touch, it's because 9 times you reached out to me. I never reach back out. I am done because I'm just a firm believer that that season and that time is up. And that's it. But if you reach back out, I'm open to it because I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But it's just embrace boundaries, but do it in a healthy way. Don't be rude. Don't be like, I cut a bitch off. It ain't nothing to cut that bitch off.
You always have a song to every
I always think it was something. It ain't nothing to cut that bitch. I feel like I'm not
need
singing.
to cut it.
You need to cut it. So you don't have to be hard with your shit.
Yeah.
Create healthy boundaries so you can really and genuinely have peace.
Yeah.
With whatever ends up taking place.
Yeah. Especially when it's relationships that means a lot to you.
Yeah.
So boundaries are, and I didn't know what boundaries were until I went into therapy. And when I went into therapy and explained about whenever she was like, well, how are you with your friends? I was like, what do you mean with friends? She's like, you need to have boundaries with friends. I'm like, why? If I don't want to be friends with somebody, I just don't be friends with them anymore. That's the way I did it. I don't have a lot of people in my life because I just stopped talking.
Yeah, same girl.
Stop talking. But like you said, it leaves all that questioning, like, but why did we stop talking? Why didn't you come and talk to me? An easy conversation, just like I was in marriage. An easy conversation. And it's like, I shouldn't treat any other relationship different. Yeah, my marriage means more than any other relationship, but I shouldn't treat it any differently.
You still take the same approach because whatever that relationship is just as valuable in that role that it plays in your life.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's very important. And for me to you, I'm so sorry because I have held, but no, this is for me, even though it may not, I've held back.
Yeah.
You don't know why I held back, because I know you told me, like, your energy's off. And I'm like, yeah. And that's where it stops. If you did that to me, I'm like, fuck, Koya, how am I supposed to know what you're feeling?
No, and see, that's what I talk to you about. I'm like, sometimes I need you to pull it out of me.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't be.
No.
You wouldn't pull it out of me, and I wouldn't pull it out of you.
Back to, there's this to avoid possibility of rejection.
Yeah, we both was that same way. We don't feel each other's energy. And then, like, you would tell me, like, I'm okay.
Yeah. And you would tell me, I'm okay. I'm like, your face don't say you're okay. And you're like, well, your energy don't say you're okay. I'm like, well, then okay. And then we don't address it. But I know where I put that line between us. I don't want that line. I want boundaries, but I don't want that line.
Because, girl, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm ready to tell you that. I'm not going in. No, but regardless of me saying that,
yeah,
I'm literally not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm here. Like, you're not that tough of a cookie, girl. You are a good friend. I have dealt with way more hurt. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if it was something that was to cut us off, it'd be like you saying, okay, Chloe, I'm going through something and I need this separation. I honestly can't see anything for me to be like, I'm done with you. Like I say. Maybe that's why. Because you know how cutthroat I am. So now that I think about it, maybe I played a part in you having rigid boundaries with me because I am such a fucking cutthroat bitch. So
I think it is because I'm that type of, like, if you say something that bothered you or you'd like, I don't get that from you, I don't mention it no more. Like, I stop. Like, if you said it bothered you, then I'm not going to tell you again because why do I want to bother you? Why do I want to even bring that to you if you already mentioned that it bothered you or it annoys you? I'm not going to bring it up anymore. And that right there was like, cut right there.
Yeah.
And that's the way I interpret things. Yeah. That's with everybody. Even with my husband. My husband says, I don't think, don't talk to me about what you spend or something like that. I don't, I completely stop it. I don't say it at all.
Yeah, I think I could be that way too.
So I know I have to work on that. But when I value a relationship, like my other friendships, I've never gone this deep before. Never gone this deep before. Now with my friend Michael, it gone to a point like that, but we never got any further with it because it was just like we were still young. We didn't know any difference. But with other relationships, it's like I said, I don't care. I just stop them. And now and sometimes they come back. They're like, "Why did we even stop talking?" I'm like, because. And then in my mind, I'm like, because I just don't want to hear you no more. But I can do that to you. But for some reason, it's not. I cannot. Like, we have things to talk about. It's like things that some people don't think it matters, but to me, little things do matter.
Yeah.
So I just learned something about myself today.
I know.
I have rigid boundaries I did not realize. I have healthy boundaries. My husband took therapy, and now we're married. We're going on 23 years in March. But I've realized now, it's like when I always say I don't get along with girls, but I know why, because when they start getting drama, I stepped away because I'm not about drama.
Same.
I don't like drama.
Yeah.
So I stepped away. But with you, it's different. It's not even a little different. It's different.
Yeah.
So
because you can't say that about me because, bitch, I don't do drama.
Yeah.
And it's just...
We don't do drama at all. And you're the first friend that's actually talk about things. You pointed things out on me. Some friends would be like, girl, you're good. You just gotta, you're okay. Don't worry about it. Sugarcoating. I don't like people feeling sympathy for me. Don't feel sympathy for me. Don't feel sympathy for me. That's another thing. So I think I have things I need to break through based on trauma that happened when I was young. Not holding it against me, but things I'm still working on. Yeah, I'm still working on shit. We're not
always evolving and working. Yeah. I feel like as long as we're alive, you're always going to be evolving and growing through some trauma that you experience. Because I could have sworn I was healed. I was healed, Lord. I was healed. And then I got into a situation, bitch, you is not healed. Yeah. You are moving away. And when I was called out on my shit, I was defensive because I'm like, no, I'm healed. I am this and this and I got over that. But it did not apply in every relationship in my life. I only got healed in one area of my life when it came to connecting, not romantically. So it's just like we're always evolving. I feel like if you don't acknowledge areas where you're coming up short is where you need to worry. If it's not something that's eating away at your conscience, that's like, fuck, I fucked up and I want to do better, you need to question yourself. Yeah. Why do I desire to be better? I know I'm not perfect. It's like, that's a good thing. And that's another message. I want to be a motivational speaker. Let me just throw that out there.
That's why.
But anyone that hasn't followed me, you already kind of know that. But that's one of the biggest messages. Like, don't beat yourself up for acknowledging where your shortcomings are. Because we're always going to be falling short somewhere because we're evolving to another level in life. And you're getting to a level that you've never been at before. Yeah. So you're going to be short because you've never fucking been here before. You're not a master of it yet. Yeah. So it's like I celebrate and acknowledge the fact that, okay, I done got triggered in a different way that's positive. I see I don't like this. So now that I acknowledge it, it's just like the 12-step program. I've never been a part of it, but I heard about it on TV. You can't fix it without acknowledging first. The very first step to any program is acknowledging it. You can't be oblivious. You can't. You gotta acknowledge the shit in order to fix it. So it's a good thing that it's conjuring up a different emotion in you. So now that you can conquer it. You can't conquer something that you don't feel and not aware of.
Yeah.
And so,
face it.
Yeah, so perception is everything. I'm so big on perception and putting a positive spin on everything. Even though it may be a foreign feeling to me and it may be bringing up something that I don't like, I celebrate it because I'm like, I don't like it. That means I'm now empowered to change it. I can get myself in position to where it can change because now this is me getting closer to my happiness.
Yeah.
Because life is going to keep happening. If we are plants, plant-based, Nicole, we're plants. We're all a different type of plant. And as long as you're alive, you're supposed to be watering yourself, going through the storm, growing. If you're not growing, you're dead.
Yeah. If you're not taking care of yourself, you're dead. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes you can't take care of yourself. That's why you have other people that come and water you. That's why it rains, because you can't water yourself sometimes.
That's a big thing, having other people come water you, because if you can't do it, that's huge for me. Because it's like, I don't want to be a burden.
Both of us have that. That is so crazy. We're very egotistical and prideful. Well, I can use egotistical for me. I have a big ego and I'm prideful. And I still struggle with that spectrum with my family. My sister broke down crying to me that day that you was here. She's like, you won't let anybody help you. You do everything on your own. Like, nobody knows when you have, like, you just won't let nobody be there for you. So
but you let me build there for you, though. You let me be there for you.
I have let you be there for me to a certain extent.
But it's still to an extent.
But sometimes it's because you're engaging.
Yeah. And it's the same for me. I don't like asking anybody.
It's like it'd be hard for me to hide stuff from you because you're around me too much. Yeah. And so sometimes you're like, I'm there. It's because you in my space more and you kind of force the issue. So I'm like, okay, this is my girl. So it's me allowing myself to, I'm hearing what I'm hearing. So I'm trying to get better and get out of my comfort zone. But honey, child, I still struggle with that, but I'm definitely getting better. Getting better.
Me too. This is something big, people. For y'all
we had a whole fucking therapy session. This went on a whole other level. This is how y'all know this is raw and authentic. This is not rehearsed.
Our nights when we get together.
It's not rehearsed. It's like literally come up with a topic and then we just go at it what we feel. So
the importance of friendship that I never knew. Like, I know my friends like all over the place that I can talk to somebody. I could talk to them like, hey, what are you doing? How's everything going? But to get deep,
there's no depthness to it.
This is the first.
Not life-changing.
Yeah.
You don't have life-changing connection.
This is the very first. And I think, honestly, that's what my husband kind of thinks, like, why do you care what y'all going through? I'm like, because he's not used to seeing me.
Yeah.
And Ethan, too.
Yeah.
It's always been about Ethan and Fendi.
But it's so weird because Ethan has always, from day one, embraced me, like, on a whole other level. Like, always. Yeah. Like, even when I would cut his hair when you was around, he always talked to me about his own personal life. Like, it was just always deeper. So that meant a lot to me that your son trusted me like that.
And I would never bring you around my son.
Yeah.
If I didn't. Whew, we can go on and on and on and on and on and on because our girls' night can last until 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning when we're talking about stuff like this.
Yes.
But it is time for what?
Striptease. I'm struggling to pick up these cards with my little nubs.
It's time for something that... we're on 2 different levels.
I heard you a big fine woman, want your back that thing up like twice in a row yesterday. I was like, I must need to go back the thing up. Because, girl, I left your ass outside. We was partying, and we was on the balcony, and I heard taking over for the 9-9. And I was like, I'm gone.
And she left me with the person that wouldn't stop talking about food. I'm like, God damn it, I want to go there and dance. And this person's just talking about food.
I was gone. So it was time for the striptease segment for our new viewers. We appreciate you for tuning in. And what we do, we have a game that we do. Well, right now we've been doing the cards from one of our podcasts. We are, we hear from because of other podcasts that have influenced us. And one of them is called Tonight. Honey, I probably done sipped a little bit too much, but it's called Tonight's Conversation. That's the name of their podcast. And we have their Sexy 69 After Dark questions cards. They have a couple of them. And so what we do is we pull 3 cards. Since it's just me and her, it'd probably be less when we have a stripper here. And you have to answer the questions. If you don't, you have to remove an article off of your body, whether it's clothing or accessories. And so... You ready?
I'm ready. And remind you, this comes on Patreon. So if you want to know the giddy of it, then you need to subscribe to our Patreon page.
So our Patreon is taking a while because we have to get the content ready for you guys. And so you probably will be like noticing it's not all the questions in here because that is Patreon content. And so
you need to pay to hear me moan.
You get a little weak. Fuck, it's too late.
This is true.
It's too late. You better go tune in to them other episodes. Boom.
Man, we are running low.
We're almost done with this deck.
So should we do 2 or 3?
Let's do 2.
Let's do 2. And I don't know if we have these questions. So you go ahead and go first, since you say I always go first in answering these questions.
What song would you say best describes your sexual prowess?
I don't know. I'm not good at knowing all the lyrics
in the back of my head. As soon as I ask that question, in the back of my head, is it the back of my mind?
The back of your mind?
Okay.
I don't know, because I don't know a lot of lyrics. I just listen to the song.
No, but what's the song? You don't need the lyrics, do you? To tell
now I'll tell you what. Wicked.
What? What?
Let's see. Wicked. No, I can't say it. Why can I not say this word?
Wicked games we play?
No. Any of his songs. Weekend.
Oh, The Weeknd. Cause your ass think about 50 Shades of Grey, don't you?
Yeah. Like anytime he has this like the beat, you're like, oh, fuck. I love when that right there.
Okay. So you don't have a specific song,
I don't
just
have
a specific artist.
Oh, you know which other one is by what's his name? Is it Future?
What?
Oh, it's a song that he sang with Weeknd. They did a collab together on it. And not now, I'm telling you, it's not Future. It's not, I cannot remember his name, but he has real pretty hazel eyes.
Tyga?
Another one.
Pretty hazel eyes.
Pretty hazel eye. He has dreads.
That's Tyga.
Is it Tyga?
He kind of sound like R. Kelly. But I don't even know
I remember.
what song
I have to find the song and show you. But it's talking about they're fucking, and I'm like, oh, I like that song. I like it. I'll just find it and let you know.
Okay.
You're like, okay.
I'm like,
but yeah, that.
Mine is. Would you mind? Janet Jackson, baby, would you mind touching me? No, she said tasting me.
Tasting me.
That song, I just wanna touch you, tease you, lick you,
oh,
where she like pulled a guy out the audience and she like climbed.
Put him on there. Oh, I love that.
That song right there is like.
Yes. Oh, I forgot about that one.
Like it sounds like rain in the background, and then you hear that and it feel like it's like the throbbing sound. Like like I don't know, like if you got it, you know, it's like when a guy like he gets a heartbeat in his dick, and then you like
feel you like, oh fuck.
It's like dang, I did not know dicks got heartbeats. Like,
I didn't know y'all get beat.
Like I see that heartbeat in the dick. Would you mind?
Yeah.
That one right there.
I know you're talking about. Yes. Shit, even when I saw that video of her doing that, I'm like, oh fuck, I feel like I'm on that.
I'm like Janet.
Like she's doing that to me. Like that was
Janet, would you mind?
Would you mind? Yeah.
I just wanna touch you.
Now I'm gonna listen to that song on my today. Listen to that song.
Hold you, make love to you. Okay.
Now I have to go listen to that.
So fitting. Sex on the Beach starts shots. We haven't done shots
We
in a
haven't.
while.
We haven't.
We've been good little girls. We've been good strippers. We again want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you like this episode and you want to see more content that is about like boundaries, or if you're more prone to the sexual stuff, let us know. We need to know what it is that you guys are liking and you want to hear from us the most, because we're doing this for you. It's a release for us. It's making us step out of that rigid boundary zone.
Boundaries. Look at you using the vocabulary for today.
We're going back to the basis, but it's like we want to give you guys quality content. We cannot reiterate that enough. So comment, communicate. We will be dropping our email so you can communicate with us anonymously if you like, and let us know what you want to hear more. If you like more prone to the raunchy shit, we'll give you raunchy. If you want to get a little bit of both or whatever, just let us know. We need to know.
Yeah, we are not shy.
And we don't take shit personal. No. We take everything as a good thing. So
it's a learning.
Thank you. Cheers to another great episode. It's been awesome. We love you, strippers. Until the next time.
Joining us.
Bye.
Bye.